What it is, it's your boy Burly. We are back. Coffee and Mary Jane. We are back. Got the coffee, We got these sticks on deck. We got our sticks on deck. And we gonna break down some 52. And one of the things that I wanted to stop through and talk about is 52 blocks a jailhouse fight system? Is it a prison thing? What is 52 blocks really attached to? So that's going to be today's topic. So we're going to give people a little time to get in the building. All we need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We don't need that many people to get this party started, but we're going to let some people come in the building and then we're going to jump on. Until then, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take a couple of pulls. A little puff, puff, pass. A little puff, puff, pass. Anybody in the boxing, you seen what happened to Joshua. David Pollock, salute, salute. Fam in the building, stepping up in here. We up in here. We in here. We rocking. Yeah, anybody see what happened to my man Joshua? It's terrible. But one thing see, some losses are victories in disguise. Because off of this loss, he can go now and go fight Deontay. He might as well fight Deontay. They both then took losses, bad losses, and people will still pay money to see Deontay and Joshua go at it. So I think it's a loss, but I think it's a blessing in disguise too. I think it's a straight blessing in disguise. They can still get that money. We had 2 minutes. We're going to start the cook in 5 minutes. Is 52 blocks a jailhouse thing? Is it a prison thing? How did it get associated with prison? Is that just a myth? Is that just something people like to say to help sell the style or make it more vicious? We're going to figure it out. I got my 7 reasons. 7 reasons why 52 blocks is not a prison thing. I got my 7 reasons. King Solomon, salute. Looking forward to the Norridge. Yeah. Burley goes to England. It's going to be big. It's going to be bad. It's going down, man. Burley goes to England. This is crazy. That's right. 2 days out there. The seminar is going to rock. We going out there to work. If you in the UK, if you in that sector, if you in that division, please come and check out the seminar. Please show up. I want to give love to the UK because the UK has showed Burley a lot of love since the very beginning of this journey. I've got a lot of love from the UK, so salute to the UK. Stand up, smash that like button, help your boy Burley get this video out. In New York with Master Mo, salute to Master Mo. Nas or Jay-Z? I gotta go with Nas. I gotta go with Nas. You know what I'm saying? I got to go with Nas. Jay-Z he's a vicious lyricist, but you gotta go with Nas. You know what I'm saying? I think Nas helped create the Jay-Z's. You can make that argument. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely make that argument. Smash that like button. 3:59, 4 minutes in, 5 minutes, the show starts. I'll bring out the real stick. And when the show starts, I'll bring in the real stick. This is just the starters. This is just the appetizers right here. The little appetizer. We got the starters on. We got the first starter right here. He ready to get in. 21-422. Smash that like button. Is 52 blocks a jailhouse thing? We're going to talk about it. If you disagree, jump in the chat. Jump in the chat if you disagree. We can debate. I'm with the ish and giggles. I'm with the ish and giggles. I'm gonna let you know I'm with the ish and giggles. Hold on, let me get my ashtray. Pumping right here. Oh, Diddy show up. Uh-oh. If Diddy show up, the party's over. bringing Homeland Security with him. That man hot. Diddy hot. All right, let me get my 7 reasons together. Let me get my stick. Take a sip of coffee. Smash that like button. We about to jump in. Here's 52 blocks. A jailhouse thing. Is it a prison system? I got to say I disagree, people. I got to say I disagree. And I get it. I get it, because when I'm on YouTube, the one thing, there are a lot of things on YouTube that get constant hits, right? You got like the what do you call that? The red pill division. You even got the when they watch people eat. There's all different type of audiences and things on YouTube that you can that has an audience, right? That has an audience, and one of the audiences is the prison audience. You got guys coming home from jail. No knock on them, and they telling their stories, and these videos getting hits, kid. They getting hits. I'm out here teaching information, how to be a fighter, how to survive, how to make it home. My videos don't get those type of hits. I don't get, because you know what it is jail is an interesting thing. That's right. It's as crazy as that sound. Most people love a train wreck. You don't want to see people hurt in a train wreck, but you can't stop watching it, right? You want to see how it turned out. It's interesting. It's not happening to you too, which makes it more interesting. Because to the person that's in the train wreck, they're not having a good time. You know what I'm saying? So people like to hear these stories of what's going on in prison. There's men up in there assaulting each other, stealing each other's manhood, why fights breaking out, what's the politics, and I get it. Because if you take a group of men and you put them anywhere, forget a jail, you put them in a cave, there's going to be a hierarchy. That's how we operate. That's how we operate. You take 50 men and put them in a cave and lock it to where they can't get out, but they got food and air and they can live in there. Give it some time. The cream gonna bubble to the top. Cream gonna bubble to the top. That's just how we operate. Because to succeed, we got to see who's the leader, who's going to delegate the jobs. So it's happening in prison too. You got, you put a bunch of men together and they can't go home. They locked in. It's going to be a hierarchy. It's going to be politics, and people love that. They especially if they ain't been there. You know what I'm saying? They want to know what's the politics about. The ingenuity that's happening in there. So there's a lot of captivating things I can understand, because I'm not knocking it. There's a lot of captivating things that go with the prison story. So there is no wonder why, attaching 52 to prison is a very good selling point. Because people are going to say, this is a system that survived prison. It must work. It got to be lit. You know what I'm saying? It must work. If this system survived the headaches and the controversies and the problems of prison, it has to be a real thing. John Smith, salute. So that's way understandable. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But coming from a okay. Coming from a person that's coming from a position where, I was in them streets and I hustled and I had my brushes. None of that makes you a better fighter though. You know what makes you a better fighter? Training makes you a better fighter. That's how you become a proficient fighter. And you need the atmosphere for it. People make fighting look too easy. Like, he do something, you just do this. That's nah, man. I wish it was that easy. If it was that easy, I wouldn't have had to sacrifice the last 25, 30 years I done put into the excellence of fighting. I wouldn't have had to do all that. Smash the like button, people. Get them lights up. I wouldn't have had to do all of that. So 52 blocks is not a prison thing. And I'm going to reveal the essence of what 52 blocks is, what it's really attached to. It's not attached to the prison thing. It's happening. And we're going to break down why it was attached. Why that thing was made, why that attachment was made, and people look at it as it is a prison thing. But it's not. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to get ready to dig into it. What we got? Let me look at some of these messages. Let's look at these messages. Okay. We got some people saying something. We got our haters in the building. Salute to the haters that just need to come and jump on the chat. Salute to them. Okay. Let me sip my coffee. Oh, this joint is kicking right now. This joint kicking like Bruce Lee. This is kicking like Bruce Lee. That's why you gotta have the Mary Jane and the coffee. Kicking like Bruce Lee. All right. Let's get into our 7 reasons why 52 blocks is not a prison fighting system. 1, you were not born into bondage. No, our ancestors were born into bondage, meaning they were locked up from birth because of who their class, their race, their color. They were born straight into bondage. Now, from that perspective, them having a fighting system, we can say the fighting system came from that because they were born into this. They didn't have the choice. They didn't have they didn't have the choice not to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, there is a majority of people that are in jail that are innocent. This is a fact. It's a travesty. It needs to be reversed. But if you look at the numbers, it's really a small number compared to the criminals that are in there. And there's some criminals. Point, period, blank. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't a criminal, don't become one. There's no reason to become one. You may want to bend the law every little now and then, but don't become a criminal. So there's a small majority of innocent men in there. Most of the men in there made a decision, whether it was emotional decision, bad decision, good decision, monetary decision. That's how they got in jail. They weren't born into bondage. They selected that. So the people born into bondage can actually say that their fighting system came from that. 52 blocks did not come from prison. It came from the organic roots, the streets, the place you're at before you go to prison. And they took it into jail with them. AKA, if you're a chef in the world and you go to jail, guess what you're going to be behind bars? You're going to be a chef in jail. So you're going to be able to cook up certain things. You're going to be able to take certain ingredients and make a whole meal with it. Some bologna slices, some pepperoni sticks, some mac and cheese, some rice, and you're going to be able to make a whole meal. Is that because you learned prison cooking or prison cuisine? No. There's no prison cuisine. It's just this man here is a chef. So he's a chef in prison. Just like the 52 block men. They were 52 block fighters in the hood. And then they went to prison. Number 2. The number 2 reason why jail is not a prison thing is jail's creativity is doing a lot with nothing. So what do I mean by that? Is they're expanding off of information already known, just like I said with the chef thing. So you look at dice, like, one of my family members was talking about how they make dice in there, and they take toilet tissue and they make it into cubes, they let it dry out, they paint the dots on it, and you can get a couple of rolls out of it before it all goes bad. But they didn't create dice in there, but the ingenuity was to replicate it and make another form of it so they can still use it. Now that is one of the things in jail that is next level. You know, they're making liquor in there, hooch, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't create liquor in jail. They just know the means of making liquor and they found ways to do it. Salute. They, you know what I'm saying? They found ways to do it. Oh yeah, hustler for show. You know, so that is their thing, the ingenuity. Not saying they're creating something, the ingenuity of working with less. Uh, okay, number three was something I just talked about, but the fighters already knew how to fight. See, the breakdown with 52 blocks is that we were doing this in the hood. You know, we were training in the hood. We were already fighting in the hood. So you take that same person, you put them in jail with the knowledge that they have from fighting in the streets, and they're going to alter it. Of course, it's close spaces. You know, the spaces are closer. So certain moves that they may have tried to pull off, like a big shuffle, they had to alter to maybe just like one move and then into a block, but they didn't. It wasn't created there. It was finally altered like a suit. You know, tailor fitted to fit the conditions, but not created there. That's not where the flavor and the rhythm and all of the good juiciness of 52 blocks comes from. Alrighty. Number four, another reason why 52 blocks wouldn't fare too well in jail um, is because of the razor and the knife thing, the weapon thing. As good as 52 blocks is, it's not beating no steel. It's not beating steel. It just can't. It's not going to beat cold steel. You know, you know these blocks here, as good as they are, if a man got cold steel, he's slicing through them things. He going right through that, and that's even on the streets. Even in the streets, if you're 52 blocking and he got a baseball bat, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. If he got a baseball bat and you trying to throw up a skull and bones, he breaking through all of that. A lot of the 52 blocks came from brothers having brothers getting into it that knew each other and they fought it out, or you had a fight. But a lot of it was based on you was going to keep it to their hands. Pretty much, there was a little participation going on. That I'm going to respect that you're going to keep this a hand fight and not pull out a weapon. Now, it's better to have 52 against the weapon than to have no knowledge of of how to maybe block a knife, or but you ain't doing nothing like in the movies. You ain't got no time for that. You may be able to slip that knife one time and you got to get on your run. You got to get on your retreat. But you may not be able to retreat in jail. So the knife factor is a big factor and a big thing that can really, mess 52 blocks up. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got the weapon and you doing 52, you could become a little bit more dangerous. All right, number five. The number five reason why it's not a prison thing is because your ability to train effectively is severely diminished. Because of your environment, you can't get that good sparring. You know what I'm saying? You can't get that good movement. The movements you not now that you do have time. If you're locked up, one thing you do have the commodity of is time. That's a fact. So you can work certain things out. But as far as the creating of it, now that's a whole nother different story. That's a whole nother different story. You're going to need a lot more to make that to be effective within that lane. If you're thinking about creating something, you're going to need much more to your environment. And under that environment, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. Of course, the guards are not going to be working with you. They don't want to see you creating a fighting system right under their nose. They're going to think you think of rebellion. They're going to be thinking rebellion. Salute, salute. I hear you. We said, what's the 5 blocks that protect help the most? What's the blocks that, Blocks that block round punches or straight punches. When you're blocking, you're pretty much trying to figure out what type of puncher is he. Most people who don't know how to punch are round punches. So when you're using your 52 to keep it simple, you want to use blocks that, can catch round shots, especially when you're dealing with the average person. Now, somebody that's trained, you're going to need blocks that know how to catch straight shots. So that's number 5. Your ability to be effective in training is severely diminished. Okay, number 6. A lot of people went to jail and never seen 52 blocks. There's a lot of people that went there and never seen it. So if it was a thing that was created there, there would be a lot more people to stand behind it. But what it is there were people that went there and met 52 block fighters in there, and they may have learned from them. Between 52 and Muay Thai, yeah, for sure. The elbow shapes, for sure. Definitely a lot of similarities between those two. But it's definitely people that went to jail and may have ran into a guy that was doing 52 blocks and learned something from him. That definitely happened. I'm not disputing anybody's experience. Don't get this video twisted. I'm not disputing anybody's experience. There are those outliers that didn't know what 52, went to jail, met somebody that did know of it, and learned something. That did happen. I'm talking about the creation and the true timeline of 52. The boxers. It started with the boxers, the black boxers. So we're looking at the timeline. So the black boxers all the way up to now. So what's the in between? Was it prison? And I say no. Number 7, I'm going to tell you what was the in between the boxers bringing home these scientific moves and it turning into something that had a lot more fancy and swag to it. I'm going to tell you, it was hip hop. It was hip hop. 52 blocks should be known more as the fighting system of hip hop than a prison system. It should be attached to the true essence of what changed it. Up rocking, breakdancing. This is when 52 altered. The boxers brought in this technical thing. When did it become this hand feint and looking pretty and doing all of these fancy from up rocking? They used to have up rocking battles where they came to your party and aggressively dancing in front of each other, doing all of these moves and nobody touching each other but 2 feet away from each other. This is where 52 blocks started to gain some of his razzmatazz, some of the fancy stuff you're seeing. 52 blocks is more the fighting system of hip hop than a prison system. Period. Thought number 7. 52 blocks is the fighting system of hip hop, not a prison system. Hip hop has had more change on 52 blocks than anything. It came from the boxers. Black boxers brought defense into boxing. When it hit the streets, the razzmatazz came from up rocking, hip hop, house parties. Rakim said he used 52 blocks to take LL's hat off his head. Bars. The guard Rakim telling you this. Like, you know what I'm saying? This wasn't a jail thing. We was in the hood doing this. This was a hood thing. This was a hip hop thing. That's why 52 blocks has that rhythm, that almost dancing rhythm. That came from up rocking. That was the blur of up rocking and fighting. Us as black people taking our fighting to this rhythmatic thing just like we did with hip hop. So that is what 52 blocks is attached to. And that's what I stand behind. 52 blocks is attached to hip hop, not a prison system. As always, hands up, chin down, rumble, young man rumble.